In 2016, Disney released the animated film Zootopia, which took its premise of a city populated with mammals and created an imaginative world of an allegory about the hurtful impact of stereotypes and prejudice. I really liked the first film, and now we have a sequel titled Zootopia 2 that introduces reptiles into the mix and a new mystery for Judy and Nick Wilde to solve. So did I enjoy this new adventure with this now buddy cop duo? I thought the filmmakers did a very good job of expanding the world and introducing this new element. The addition of reptiles allows for all sorts of amusing new visual gags that take advantage of what snakes, lizards, and other reptilian creatures are capable of. Although it's not just the reptiles the sequel does new things with. There's a fun sequence where Nick and Judy go to these wetlands and we see how they interact with animals like walruses. We also find out more about the history of Zootopia and how those temperature-controlled worlds came to be, and I thought that was an interesting way to explore how coexistence became possible with these mammals, although there is a dark undercurrent underneath it all that the film does a good job of exploring. Much like the first movie, they use the animals, specifically these reptiles, to comment on the things that harm our society and how we need to live together. The theme of prejudice remains here, but there's also a further message about how we're soft and taught to hate anyone who might be different from us. You can definitely read a commentary on racism as well as xenophobia into this storyline with the reptiles. In an age where human beings are still divided for one reason or another, whether it's because of distrust of a particular group, even just based on which side of the border someone is born on, the message of Zootopia 2 is certainly appreciated. The film also develops the partnership between Judy and Nick, and it's neat seeing them work together to solve this case, although the script also highlights their differing attitudes about how to handle it. They have some humorous interactions made even better by the voice work from Jennifer Goodwin and Jason Bateman. Bateman is particularly good at portraying Nick's sarcastic remarks in a way that still makes him charming and likable. The thing a lot of people have wondered since the first movie is whether Nick and Judy might become romantically involved. I personally don't get it, as it's a lot more refreshing to have male and female characters have a good working relationship and not end up falling in love. I also appreciate in general that Disney seems to have largely moved away from romances in their animated films after they had decades of continuous romances being the focus. Don't get me wrong, I think Disney animated movies have had many touching and lovely romances over the years, from Lady and the Tramp to Beauty and the Beast to Rapunzel and Flynn. But having a man and a woman remain platonic sends a message to the audience that being single is okay too, and romance is not always the end goal. Nick and Judy clearly care a lot about each other and their well-being, and their partnership is a great one. There's no need for them to start dating or walking down the aisle, and Zootopia 2 keeps things focused on them trying to decide the best way to solve this dilemma. The most pivotal new character is Gary the Snake, who's immediately sympathetic as he tries to correct a wrong. The animators do a lot with his snake body and the way he moves around the screen, and you can certainly see the influence from previous Disney snake characters like Kaa and Sir Hiss. There's also the new mayor, a horse with the voice of Patrick Warburton. In addition to it being fun hearing Warburton's voice in a Disney animated movie again, that character was also taken some interesting places that comment how politicians' decision-making might be heavily influenced by others. The sequel brings back many of the characters from the first film, but in a way that does not feel like they've been shoehorned in because it's been expected. Some of their appearances do play a role in the narrative, although you also have quick cameos that provide a chuckle. The humor in general does work, with multiple parts where I laughed out loud. Much like the first movie used The Godfather and Disney in-jokes to good effect, the sequel similarly knows how to make pop culture nods that don't result in eye rolls, as they're more like simple visual gags rather than feeling forced. There are times when the movie zips by at top speed, so some of the jokes won't be caught on the first viewing. Although probably my favorite joke about spoiling anything was a gag related to computer security. You'll know when you see it. Additionally, the action sequences are directed with a lot of energy by Jared Bush and Byron Howard. There's certainly an influence from other cop movies as we get car chases and other pursuits that again make smart use of these being animals with their own specific abilities. I will say I do have a preference for the first Zootopia, as I think that had a stronger story, but I nonetheless really enjoyed entering this world again and seeing Nick and Judy take on one of their first cases as official police officers, and it definitely leaves plenty of room for where to take a Zootopia 3, and it would shock me if that does not happen. But as for Zootopia 2, this becomes a worthwhile sequel about how we sometimes just need to listen and talk to each other.